Today we're going to be discussing some mixed measures. We're going to be solving some problems involving mixed measures. These are all of the things that we have done in the past, showing you some different ways of doing them. Let's read the first problem, please. Herman is building a picnic table for new campground. The picnic table is 5 feet 10 inches long. How long is the picnic table in inches? So there's your question. What's the information they gave us? Kenzie, what they give us? 5 feet 10 inches long is what they gave you for the picnic table measurement. And what are they wanting it in? In inches alone. So you need to circle that also. So we have to change our 5 feet 10 inches into all inches. Looking in the box to the right, is the mixed measure greater than or less than 6 feet? They gave it to you as 5 feet 10 inches. Is it greater than or less than 6 feet? Less than. And then we have to know, because we're discussing feet and inches, how many inches are in 1 foot? Should you know this? Yes, 12 inches are in a foot. So if that's something that you don't know, something we need to make sure that we are learning. So we're going to change a mixed measure. We're going to think of the 5 feet 10 inches as 5 feet plus 10 inches. You see how they wrote that? So they wrote the 5 feet above plus the 10 inches underneath. Now, what we have to do is change our 5 feet into what? Inches. So we know that there are 12 inches in a foot, so we're going to take that 5 feet times 12, and that gives us what? So you're going to put 60 here, and we have the 10 from before that we didn't have to change because it's already in inches. We'll just bring that down with it, and then we're going to add them together, and we get a total of 70 inches. So can someone explain to me what were the steps we just took to take this and put it all into inches? Elena, what did we do? Okay, so she changed the 5 feet into inches, added the 10 we already had that was already in inches, and then we get 70. Is that difficult? No. Do we still have to know something, though? Yes, we still have to know how many inches are in a foot, otherwise we wouldn't know to take it times 12. So something you have to know. Let's look at another one down here. Herman built the picnic table in 2 days. The first day he worked for 3 hours and 45 minutes. The second day he worked for 2 hours 10 minutes. How long did it take him to build the table? So as always, your question is, how long did it take him to build the table? Bailey, can you tell me how long it took him the first day? All right, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Braden, what did it take him the second day? 2 hours and 10 minutes. 2 hours, 10 minutes. So look at step 1. They wrote these like an addition problem, right? They put 3 hours and 45 minutes on the top, and then they added the 2 hours and the 10 minutes below that. Okay, so let's add the minutes first. 45 minutes plus 10 minutes is going to give you 55. Now, because that's not over 60, we're good, right? Remember that when you were dealing with time, if you're over 60, we're going to have to change it into another hour, correct? Okay, forget that rule. Now, step 2, we're going to add the hours. So what do we get? 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. So it took him 5 hours and 55 minutes to build the table. Now, the ones they're using with you right now are pretty simple. Like I said, if you get over 60, you have to remember that you're going to take 60 minutes of that and change it to another hour, and then give me what you have left over. So don't forget that you may have to do some of those. Don't just write 5 hours and 75 minutes. Can I turn that 75 minutes into another hour? Okay, so make sure that we do that. Now, there's a what-if question down here. If Herman worked an extra 5 minutes on the picnic table, how long would he have worked on the table then? So if he was working an extra 5 minutes, the question here is how long would he have worked on the table then? Extra 5 minutes. So Fred, what are we going to do here to figure this out? Okay, and what does that give you? And what do you know about 60? Okay, so what are you going to give me for a total answer? All right, so your answer is 6 hours. So we got 6 hours. We need to make sure we tell how Fred found it. So he told me we added the 55 minutes plus what? Plus the 5 to get 60 minutes, right? And we know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So take 5 plus 1 equals 6. That doesn't really look like a 5. Let's fix that. So a couple of different things that he did. He started with the minutes, which is fine. 55 plus the 5 gives you 60. We know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So we're going to take the 1 plus the 5 we already had to get a total of 6. Take 5 plus 1 equals 6. So basically we just explained in words and numbers what Fred had done. So there's where it comes in with when you hit 60 minutes or more, you have to change it into another hour, right? And I'm going to tell you you're probably going to have quite a few of those today. What page when you have that, please? So front side we added mixed measures. Now what are we going to do? Subtract them. So this problem says Alicia is building a fence around the picnic area. She has a pole that is 6 feet, 6 inches long, and she cuts off 1 foot, 7 inches from 1 inch. How long is the pole now? So there's your question. Hopefully, as you read this, you can see in there that she's cutting something off, therefore we are going to subtract it, right? When you read a story problem, please read it carefully so that you can kind of figure those things out as you go. So what did she start with on the fence, Chase? How long was the pole? 6. Okay, so that's what we're starting with. And what does she cut off of the pole? Can then 1 foot, 7 inches. So just like the front side, we're going to write it like it is a subtraction problem. So we write the 6 feet to 6 inches minus the 1 feet to 7 inches. Now take a look at this. I'm still going to have to regroup, right? Because if I look, my 6 is on the top and my 7 is on the bottom, and I know that I cannot subtract 7 from 6. So, in order to subtract those inches, I'm going to change some things around. Now, you're probably looking at this going, well, why didn't we just put this as 16? Well, can you use 10 if I'm discussing measurements? No, you still have to use the measurements that you know to determine what's going to happen here. So, how many inches are in a foot again? Wow. So, in order to regroup this time, I have to look at it as in I have 12 inches in a foot. Yes? as we look here, we're going to say 6 feet 6 inches is equal to 5 feet 6 inches plus the 12 that I'm talking about. So when I regroup up here, I'm going to take the 12 inches that are in a foot and I'm going to add it to the 6. Does everybody see that? I don't see a lot of this. I see a lot of blank stares. Okay, so they're taking the 12 inches plus the 6 that's already there to get the 18 that you see above it. Everybody understand that? So you're not just going to put 16 there because we're using tens and ones. Well, right now we have to use the measurements that we know. Okay? Does everybody understand where 18 comes from? Yeah. We're on the right place. Okay, so then I can take the 1 away here from this then because I'm borrowing it from the foot. Still borrowing from something, right? That's where the 5 is. So I'm then going to take the 18 minus the 7, and I get what? 11, and you're going to put it down here. Because it's okay to have that because it's not 12 or higher, right? And then I'm going to then subtract the feet. So they brought it all down over here. 5 minus 1 is 4. So, have to do a little bit of thinking when we're doing measurements. We can't just change it to 10 like we're used to doing when we regroup and when we're doing regular numbers. We have to actually regroup our measurements. So, what does this end up being after she has cut the stuff off? 4 feet 11 inches. Now, we forgot to answer this one up here. When I did this, 5 feet 6 inches, what did we get up here to put in our regrouping? We got the 18. Okay. And they explained it a little bit differently than I did, but I think it might be easier for you to remember that there's the 12 inches in the foot, add that to the 6 that's already there, and you've got your number. Okay? Yes? All right, I want you to try the one in the little box down here with your partner. You've got 3 pounds 5 ounces minus 1 pound 2 ounces. I want you to write that the correct way. You're not going to write it sideways, right? And then you're going to have to think about the measurements. Talk it over with your partner here, see what you can come up with. As you're writing this, some of you decide you don't want to write it like you're supposed to. Write it down here. And if you want to use the abbreviations because it's simpler, fine, do that. That's not a problem. But you must write it down here so that I can see that you're actually subtracting. If you notice, I don't have to borrow this time like I did up here because my number that's on top is what? Greater. So all I have to do is subtract like I normally do. 5 minus 2 is 3. So I'm going to put my ounces back. So I have my labels. And 3 minus 1 is 2. And I'm going to put my label back. So my answer is 2 pounds, 3 ounces. If you write 23, it's wrong. Is that what it's looking for? No, we're not just doing subtraction today. We're doing subtraction with our measurements. So you've got to make sure you've got the right labels. Yesterday, there were a lot of you missed silly points because you didn't put AM and PM. You have to have those things. Okay? Let's look at number 1 here on the Sharon Show. It's going to walk us through another problem. Let's read. A truck is carrying 2 tons, 500 pounds of steel. How many pounds of steel is the truck carrying? So there's your question. Get in the habit of highlighting. As soon as I stop doing this up here, you stop doing the highlighting also. Trust me, it is important to you. It gives you your question. It also gives you what you're going to be using. So it told us there were 2 tons and 500 pounds of steel. What is it wanted in? Pounds. So we're going to think of the 2 tons, 500 pounds as 2 tons plus the 500 pounds. That's not difficult to think about, right? So that's what they wrote. 2 tons plus 500 pounds. Now, what do we know about pounds and tons? How many pounds are in a ton? Nope. There's 2,000. So 2,000 pounds in a ton. So as you look here, the thing kind of tells you that. 2 tons times the 2,000 will give you, so you're going to move that over here, 4,000. Then do I have to do anything with my pounds? Just move it over. Then I'm going to add it.